Alright. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Villains Jumpchain crossover episode this time, though. So today we're here with Corin, Waris, Zool, and Rogue. Fire's not with us today because she's doing something or another. And Rogue is attempting to figure out his internet issues because something's going on.
I'm here. I just connected to the... Thankfully I have a dual band Wi-Fi card, so...
Nice.
I don't know. Wait for it. Weird. I don't know.
Alright, so last we left off, let's see, Burnett was trying to find food, so he's probably in the cafeteria over here.
I have found food.
Yeah!
RWBY.
Let's see, Buck walked into this area with, how do I explain what you're wearing? Waris, would you like to explain to the viewers who might not have, listened to the last bit of last episode, about what you are wearing exactly?
Of course. I forgot the wonderful afro power, the pink mustache of swag, the tan shirt and suspenders of a king, and the polka-dotted pants of the champ of life.
So there's your pink mustache right there. There you go. You have the Wilford form. Oh, well, didn't. Wilford form.
Looks like you're trying to put a tampon on my face.
I can't. There we go. I can't delete that screen. Hold on. Can I click it? There you are. Boosh. There you go. But anyways, so yeah, last episode, he walked into this place wearing was essentially Wilford Warstash. So if you guys haven't seen Wilford Warstash, go check out Markiplier's channel. He has a bunch of stuff on there about him. Super cool. And then Wally stood outside, texting somebody.
You remember that my name is Mako, right?
Sorry, Mako stood outside texting somebody. Fire is shadowing Waris, but we're not going to really pay attention too much to her because she is AFK. And Rogue is... I actually don't remember what Rogue was doing last episode. Rogue, what were you doing last episode?
I don't really...
I legitimately cannot remember because I remember Burnett walking outside and talking with them, but I cannot remember what you were doing.
I think what I wanted to do was trying to follow behind.
He was mostly keeping to himself.
I was
trying to keep out of
figure out
trouble.
what's going on, and also trying to figure out what's going on.
So while Burnett, he didn't just walk to get food, he walked through walls to get food. By through walls, I don't mean like a ghost, I mean he literally is slamming his face into walls like usual.
Yeah, my character was walking through the walls, following him, to see where he headed.
Very big holes in the walls as he keeps walking through.
And
I was walking to town last I checked.
And also, can I roll to see if I just have to record the last conversation?
Yeah, you're welcome to.
Okay.
Let's see, were you able to record it? I believe you would be able to record, just simply, unless you get like, okay, yeah, I was about to say, unless you get like a 4 or something, you're probably able to record. Yeah, you recorded the last bit of a conversation between, Ironwood and Oz, but unfortunately you weren't able to get too much information out of it simply because, you have to like press down the speaker for a period of time, and, Azul forgot about that.
Did he at least not hear me call myself Benihana?
No, they heard it. They heard it real
God
well.
damn it.
Okay,
We were trying to
Alright,
remember what that name was, by the way, last episode. Last Monday.
Time to do my role to make sure Salem got the whole thing.
Alright. You were hungry.
I was too hungry to pay attention.
You realized that there was actually a cafeteria in Beacon. And you immediately looked at the thing to send, the transmission in Salem. And then you looked at the cafeteria. And you decided, nah, food, and put your thing away.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Do I bust into that dance hall with the power of Zeus in my pelvis?
Get 20. For love of everything, get 20.
Got a
You got a 7.
You stomp in there, looking like a mean clown who's wearing a lot of pink. And everyone is extremely confused.
Yay!
Let's see if we're looking
Oh.
brisket.
No one really tries to interfere with you, and no one gets even the slightest amount of close to you. They all just look at you in some abject horror and some curiosity. Sun just kind of puts a thumbs up towards you.
I look at him, and I just like whip my thumb to the side with a crazy smile on my face. The power
Is he
of the pelvis
concerned?
knows.
He is. He's not concerned. He gets up. He starts cracking his knuckles, and he starts busting into disco moves.
Yeah!
Accepted.
I look at this
Roll to
boy.
see if I
I look at this with a tear in my eye, and I join him.
Everyone, roll sanity damage.
I don't take sanity damage. I don't have any.
Oh my god. So they just
I'm
y'all
gonna roll
start
to see if
busting
I
a
take
move out in the
brisket.
middle of the area, which somehow makes it so everybody else starts busting equal dancing moves. Everybody's doing the disco now.
I'm gonna do the hungry disco walking in with brisket.
Ozpin does not join you. He looks at you
roll.
all in extreme confusion.
Does
I
he-
have to.
Does
I have to deny you that role, my friend.
Does he
I
have
look
any
at Austin.
recollection of getting Wilford Dwarf stash as a student?
I don't think he
Not
knows.
the slightest, but you know
Listen,
it.
I notice that he is not dancing, and I do a spin, and I snap and point at him as I keep moving my pelvis to the beat.
He cannot
cannot
take the
deny.
disco fever.
I can accept this under one condition. He has to drag Glinda along with him.
You know it, boy.
I look at him in disappointment, and I give him I attempt to look unhappy, but I'm kind of probably too happy.
You notice that Ironwood is tapping his foot, but he seems extremely aggravated at the moment.
His eyes say dance. His pelvis says, "Oh
I
God, get
agree.
the emergency."
I want to pack
I
myself
ignore-
down with brisket, and then
I
just
agree.
do the hungry disco out there.
Oh
I
my god.
ignore Ironwood because screw Ironwood.
I'm gonna see if I get it. I want to see if I get it.
You start slathering yourself in brisket. You got brisket in your pants. You got in your pants pockets.
I wonder
You
how-
got in your shirt. You got like down your shirt stuffed in there. You're wearing a tux, and you are shoving brisket in every hole possible
Like-
before
have a
slamming
question.
through the door and shoving your fan to the sky.
Question. How does
Yes.
Walrus respond to this blatant waste of brisket?
I'm going over to him with it.
He looks at him like somebody just gave him the world's sexiest shotgun.
Can I roll through a facepalm real quick?
He will
Roll
do
high
it.
enough, you might facepalm yourself out of conscious.
Oh,
But he is also not happy that he's wasting brisket. But he's appreciating
Oh,
that someone
God.
is coming towards him with brisket.
rolled a 12.
You slam your hand into your face, echoing it through the room, but no one seems to notice whatsoever because, well, a 7-foot tall man covered in brisket just walked into the room.
This is my team. This is my teammate. How this happened?
Meanwhile, in the minds of Mako, that is my teammate. How does this happen?
Alright. I'll look at him, and now I'm starting to feel repulsed because I can smell all the brisket. And I realize he stuffed it down his pants. He stuffed it down his pants. Oh no.
Oh dear.
It's like
gonna
bulging
stuff my
out of
shirt
his
and
pants. Are
pants.
all of his pants are bulged like his shirt. He's wearing a tight tuxedo, and he shoved a lot of brisket in there.
I am the mystery.
I
He's
couldn't
also
have
chomping
gone-
on some brisket while staring at you. By the way, and dancing.
I couldn't have
disco.
been in another world for this.
Oh,
That's my
I don't
character saying this as he just watching. I was just watching this guy just dancing with covered in brisket, and it's just
oh, Azul, roll D20. He stares Warris in the eyes as he reaches into his coat pocket and pulls out a full bottle of barbecue sauce.
oh, I just can't get any worse.
Why would I
Rips
pull
off
out
the top and starts drowning himself.
Oh.
Watch the eyes.
Never
I wouldn't
losing
even
eye
do that
contact.
myself.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I look at him.
This...
I look him dead in the eye. I look at him like somebody just handed me a 12 gauge and told me have fun.
Oh, Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
And I
The
take
murderous
one of
twinkle in your eye.
a little bit. I mean, he is wasting perfectly good brisket.
And steak sauce.
Question: does he have a brisket in his front coat pocket?
Yes.
He has brisket. You could
You-
touch the man and you would pull away brisket.
I grab the one out of his coat pocket. I look at it, and I take a bite, and I turn away, and I keep dancing with a brisket in my hand.
Is pocket lint something you roll for?
I wouldn't have any. I'm too.
He cleaned that
clean.
tux earlier, but oh boy. Wait. Now my question is, did you just start a trend? Oh boy.
Wait, I will answer that.
Oh no.
I smacked my mouse across the screen.
Oh no. The trend.
Is that good? Is that good in this case or bad?
You see, like, as Walrus grabs the brisket and shoves into his mouth, and immediately moves his hand to the sky like that weird disco move no one has a name for. You notice everyone starts to have a twinkle in their eye, and they look confused for a moment. And then Sun looks at him, looks at Burnett, slams his hand into Burnett, and rips off a piece of brisket before shoving it into his mouth and raising his hand to the sky. And so everyone starts to follow.
I'm gonna
Can I roll a
Wait,
nose
wait,
check
no.
to see what I can see if I can tell what's going on here?
Sure.
I'm gonna step away from the window and wipe the blood away from my nose from the minor aneurysm I just had from all that.
8.
You're not entirely sure what's going on, but you think that they just started a new trend of eat the brisket and do the disco.
Oh,
I
this
am the
is not
hungry
what I
disco
expected.
master.
By the way, all these briskets are just slathered in steak sauce now.
That's
No, it was
fantastic.
barbecue sauce to begin with, but I feel like that's not the question to be asking here.
So now everyone's in like a conga line of just disco brisket. Like all the teams
no.
are just in a line, including it's just all the teams are in a line doing the disco with brisket.
Oh no!
It's so beautiful.
Why is this happening?
It's one of the most horrifying things you've ever seen, and also, remarkably
And
enough, makes most of the females look less attractive.
Wait, does Ironwood join in?
How is Ironwood reacting to this?
He joined in.
You drive
didn't he?
me to drink. He looks at you all. He reaches into his coat pocket. He pulls out a flask. He raises up in memory of Crow, who he wishes was dead. Drinks it, throws the flask, walks over to you, slams his fist down into your pants pocket. Not into your
Oh,
pants, but into your pants
God.
pocket. Rips out one of your pieces of brisket, grabs the steak sauce off your face, slams it into it, and just shoves it into his mouth, and starts pulling out the manliest disco moves you've ever witnessed.
I am impressed. I am extremely impressed that my mortal enemy, who hates my guts and my world, is joining me on this charade of magic and mastery.
He's pulling out dance moves that could only rival God. Disco may be dead, but he's
I
reviving
am
it.
at a loss for words of what to do. Wow, I did not think this would happen, or did not even think of this scenario.
Disco may be dead, but
Wow.
y'all reviving it now.
I don't think that was I don't think brisket or barbecue was involved with disco dancing at all.
I don't think it was, but it's not a thing.
Highly unusual.
Alright, Warriors,
Wow.
what the hell did you do?
I looked at him, and I couldn't muster up the courage yet to challenge him to the proper disco off.
Oh my god, he just like walks into the middle. Like there are teams all around all y'all.
Oh man.
Like literally like 20, 30 people. And he is dancing his heart out.
The man that wants me dead.
He is breaking
my
people's
target.
disco concentration with his disco powers. People have
can't
stopped
be
doing the
evil.
disco around him because they cannot fathom how amazing he is at doing disco.
Oh. Can
Let
I
me-
roll again to see if I can figure this out? Because I'm
Let me-
Carrie's still
let me-
puzzled
let-
at this.
Let me read this note real quick to all the people who are listening. I have taken the following notes. During the dimensional transferal time period, it appeared that the common sense of the average individual is degraded beyond normal, to such a point that all individuals can follow the most absurd instructions with relatively little motivation. As Walrus replies, "No, I'm just one sexy bastard." Alright, well again, I have so much fun with this. Oh god.
Chill. Oh wow.
You're not entirely sure what this all is, but Manette looks at you. He notices that you're the only person in the entire room who has not started dancing, and he starts walking towards
Oh
you.
dear. Oh dear. Can I just can I roll to resist
Both you roll d20.
to save my sanity?
Both you roll.
Okay, you better hope I don't
13.
roll a 20, because I'm gonna break that sanity like a twig here in a second if I roll a 20.
Roll, boy, roll.
17.
Oh crap.
Burnett leans next to you, puts his hand on the wall, and you are currently afraid of your
Oh,
life
man.
because he's a 7.5-foot giant who is towering over you, covered in steak sauce and God knows what else. And he puts his hand on your
Can-
shoulder. It looks
can
kind of
I-
like he's trying to seduce you, but you're not taking it at all. And he holds out steak
I
to
love
you,
it.
and you feel very disturbed at the moment. So you
Zen.
decline the offer. Yes.
Sin,
Yeah.
I need you to check your PMs and ask me
Oh,
if
I
that
saw
17
it.
is okay.
Oh, I saw it, my
Is
friend.
that okay?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You all just see Buck stomp his legs, and you see him like shimmy up to Ironwood in a very, disco way. And he looks at him dead in the eye. He turns and he flexes. He doesn't
Pull out your
flex
character
the
real
normal way.
quick.
His pelvis is moving. His body is shaking. You see his shirt rip.
You guys can vaguely hear in the distance a sound that vaguely reminds you of Ron screaming, "Ah!" as a
Oh,
horrifying 7.5-foot tall giant appears. Yes, he did grow like a good foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you see him with the most serious look on his face. Look at Ironwood. spin, point at him, and all you can hear is challenge you. As he starts dancing like a madman on heroin, crack, and all the good stuff.
Roll d20. He looks at you and he rips off his shirt with his own flexing. And he starts dancing so hard, even you are in all of his power.
I look at him.
I will walk over to him.
Roll d20, man. Three-way disco.
Oh god. Well, you did say 3.
You look at the two of them. You look at their amazing discoing powers. As clearly, it looks like Ironwood's winning. You pull out a second ball of steak sauce, and you rip off your own shirt and your bulging biceps of God, and you start pouring the barbecue sauce all over you. No one finds it attractive in the slightest. They all mildly disgusted by it.
I'm gonna point this out. Lilith is here listening to all of this. Lilith, in the chat, like in the Jumpchain chat, just tell us what you're thinking right now, real quick. If you are still awake.
Card says help. Oh, Jesus Christ. I think this is the weirdest episode we've ever had in Jumpchain.
Oh wow!
She's replied with,
"This is the most weirdest episode in the villain's arc ever."
She's replied with, "I've got horrifying bits and pieces why I do things ain't terrible." Burnett replies with, "Welcome to the hell of
You're
hungry
terrible.
disco."
Yeah,
I
pretty
look at
much.
this, and you just see Buck stop, and all you hear is "Staying Alive," as he starts pelvicking like a king.
You can vaguely, very vaguely, feel as if space and time itself are being distorted once again as you just hear a cry of, "My master!" Obviously, it can't get through, but you're more than horrified at the moment. Ironwood stares at you, and he slams his fist into his own hand. It starts discoing so hard, you feel as if space and time will crack under the pressure. The horse! He has started to pelvic thrust.
I want to see if I can get Rogue started in the hungry disco.
He has started to pelvic thrust towards you, Warris. He has beaten your own thrusting.
Buck stops. He looks him dead in the eye. See, please. And he goes harder.
Can I roll to see if I can block,
Yes.
or can
Block.
see if I can have a strong mind on this?
Can you deflect? Oh, you okay? Burnett rolled a 20. You have once again deflected Burnett's weird homosexual ways of shoving his
I'm trying to
biceps
figure out
of
what the hell's going
gloriousness
on here,
towards you.
'cause this is not normal. Over by anyone's standards.
And then you see Ironwood and Buck. Buck is starting to thrust as hard as he can. Staying Alive is beating in the background. You can feel it in your bones as Ironwood crumbles to his knees, pelvic thrusting the ground, but he just can't do it. He just can't will himself to break reality.
Can I break reality for a second? No.
If
I'm sorry.
Okay, you look up toward,
if
he looks
this-
up
if
towards
this having
you.
any
He
purpose,
slams
it's-
his hand into the ground. He stands up once more and looks you in the eyes. And all you can feel is his words of, "You will lose this battle."
Buck looks at him. He spins as hard as he can. And you see him stop his leg. You see his leg just switch modes to the proper fighting stance. You see him spin, stomp on the ground, and with one thrust. Please tell me if I break the world for a second.
You managed to thrust so hard that reality itself starts to break in front of you, and Ironwood stares at you, and he slams his hand into his own guts, and you can hear the crack of his own abs against his hand, before he stares at you, puts his hand on his hips, and slams forwards, breaking your own reality, breakage into normal reality once more.
I want to see if I pull off the ultimate power slide.
Can you power slide into their reality-breaking god thrusters? Not particularly, but Rogue, roll to 20.
Okay, let me get back to you.
You decide to look at your rippling biceps of godliness, which are now covered in steak sauce, and you look at Rogue once more. Rogue looks back at you. And Rogue, the only thing you see is God in its own form. You see as if God himself is staring at you, putting his hand on your shoulder and offering you the brisket of the Lord. It's so shiny, you cannot help but accept it. Not quite sure why it's shiny, and I don't think you want to know why it's shiny, but it's so shiny.
It's the steak. It's the barbecue sauce.
Buck looks at Ironwood. He sticks out his hand towards Ironwood.
Ironwood slams his hand against his own chest before grabbing your hand and shaking it hard.
This version of Ironwood and I have respect for him, I know.
Literally
Apparently
breaking the world and fixing it in 2 thrusts.
Okay, so what happened? I had to leave for a second.
Sorry, yeah, so you got your one. So you basically
God
saw
damn it.
Burnett looking at you, pulling out brisket that is very shiny. You're not quite sure why it's shiny, but it legitimately looks like God himself has come down in the form of Burnett and is handing you the shiniest and holiest brisket that has ever existed, and you are helpless, I say, to prevent yourself from taking this holy meat.
Question.
Oh, dear.
I rolled an 18. Can I,
God.
point at Rogue? Because I know I could feel in my bones that someone wasn't dancing. And can I get him to start dancing?
Rogue, my friend, roll above an 18 or you're gonna start doing the disco.
He's gonna roll a 3 or
Alright.
something.
Roll the
Please
1.
roll
Please.
one. Roll one.
If the
Roll the one.
please,
The
let
amount
let
of
the
rolls that
gods
we've
be
done
there
are
for
one
me.
so far.
Roll one.
Dang it!
Oh, you got
I called it 3!
Alright.
What?
Side note, can we quickly switch to Corn? Because I have everybody distracted.
Odd. I mean, we could totally do that. Though I'll leave that up to Sin.
Alright,
Oh,
so
dear.
as Rogue looks at the hand of God himself pointing at him, beckoning him to dance, he shoves a hand into the sky. And now we're gonna look at Meko here.
Nice.
Yeah, so during this entire time of ungodly torture and hell that you guys have witnessed and horrifying terror, I don't know how to explain this, man.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wipe away that little bit of blood from the aforementioned aneurysm.
I don't know how to explain this. Anyways, so during this period of time, Mako was texting Neo to come over and outside. And after Mako saw Warris walking in, yeah, that was a smart idea. Walking outside was a brilliant, wonderful idea of hers, and she's so glad she did. She walked outside and looked at Corin and nodded to him.
I don't know what just happened, but
The music gets louder, by the way.
well, on the upside, no one's going to overhear. Well, I guess it's not overhear us. No one's going to overhear him.
She looks at you with a raised eyebrow, clearly sassing
So-
you in mute language.
I respect that. More importantly than that is, God, nothing has gone right today. I am off completely.
She
Oh,
looks at you with a questioning raised eyebrow.
Well, I'm going to cut to the chase. That dum-dum of yours is, see, I'm pretty sure Mars is probably going to do him in.
She puts her umbrella on the ground after folding up and leans on it. Clearly in the, you say one more word about Dum Dum and I'm going to beat you in the face kind of look.
Well, I
Harrison.
mean, if you don't want to know about the potential threat, sure.
She raises a, once again, curious eyebrow.
Yeah. First off, anything that can anything that can participate in whatever's going on in there clearly cannot be trusted as a good and decent being.
She looks inside of the ballroom, which at this moment is horrifying and disturbing from all the discoing and all the partying and all the brisket and all the steak sauce covering the brisket and many of the people. In fact, you're fairly certain that Brunette at the moment is rolling around in a puddle of steak sauce and is horrifying. She kind of nods her head. Yeah. Sounds about right. Yeah.
Anyway, probably should get with the introductions. I'm Silverbird, and you're Neapolitan of Team Seaman, right?
She looks at you with a face of, what?
Sorry, Team Carmine. Sorry, it's just the way that you spell it is a little weird.
She nods again. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, long story. I don't know, something about Mars has tipped me off. I don't know what it is. Namely, it's the GM who told me.
Also the fact that they had
Did we
no
establish-
information on
Did
them.
we
but-
establish what, like when I was looking over the register, did we establish what stood out? When I asked you and you said that Mars stood out, what was it that made them stand out?
For the most part, it was the lack of knowledge that was around them. Unlike most of the other people in there, they had very little on their IDs. And then on top of that, they also didn't transfer in from anywhere or had any academy registrations or anything like that.
How the heck did they get in? There's got to be a paper trail somewhere. That's
It's
the
a
point,
very
isn't it?
confusing paper trail. Yeah. You don't know the paper
Yeah.
trail. That's why it's weird.
Yeah, that is actually a fair point. So yeah, I don't know. Oh God, I can't use any of my notes because everything has gone. My God, I can't even.
She looks at
claim
you and
walrus-
pulls out her phone before typing to you. And why should I trust you in any way, shape, or form, Mr. She looks inside the room again, which has only gotten worse. Friend of theirs?
Silverbird, and probably because think about it like this: which part of Torchwick's involvement in this plan is guaranteeing his safety? Because I could have sworn it was none of it.
She looks at you and then looks at the phone again before typing, "We're thieves."
Yeah, I know that's one of my favorite parts. Think like Torchwick.
What safety is there?
Well, namely that you're in the spotlight.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, that's not. I mean, technically that benefits me more than it does you. The best part is that as long as all the cameras are Torchwick blaring out how great of a thief he is, how many places he's robbed, as long as he's on the news, no one, not even you, are going to be able to recognize the name Silver. I'd like to keep it that way, actually. So if Torchwick goes out, all those spotlights are going to find someone.
So what do you have in mind?
Yes, see, I got no freaking clue. I ain't got a suggestion aside from get away from whatever this place.
She looks inside the room once again, and you notice that things have escalated slightly. Wars, roll toy. Oh yeah. Oh,
I'll
yeah,
roll
excellent.
1, 2.
How hard to ask it? You were really enjoying rolling on that ground, but Walrus, what were you doing?
Steak sauce
I
is
mean,
getting a weapon.
Probably dancing with like probably me and Iron are still going at it at some point. Like we've gained respect, but we're still
A
gonna be
dance
dancing.
off. It's a dance off.
Yeah.
Can I roll to see if I can
break
this
out.
Stop.
trance.
Yeah,
That
break
was
the
anything,
trance of
so-
disco madness. Yes, you have to get above an 8.
Exactly. So I'm
If you
pretty
get a
sure
1, you're
something
fully
is
in it.
going on here.
If you get a 1, you are fully in, man.
19.
Hey!
Oh.
Finally.
You managed to break
Dang.
out of it and spit out the brisket with horror in your face as you just realized that it wasn't God that gave you that brisket, it was Burnett, and you don't want anything that has touched Burnett. You don't know where he's been.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait,
Yeah.
I have been
Take
in
off
the
his
shower.
jacket. If just taking off his jacket was enough to expose his chest, that means that he didn't have an undershirt, which means that the brisket on his inner pocket was directly in contact with his pectorals.
Yeah.
I am always clean. The only thing that was dirty about me was all the barbecue sauce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but here's the thing. The real question is, does that matter? Is it clean?
Would he
of the
feel
soul?
clean?
I mean, come on. You haven't danced. How long have you been dancing for? I mean,
It's fair, it's been like
Jesus
an hour.
Christ.
oh god.
It's kind of horrifying. But you managed to
So-
break out of your trance as Mako looks at you and you look suitably horrified, kind of disgusted, and kind of like you want to throw up at the moment. But
Exactly my thought. Okay, I want to get away from this because I don't want to get into that again. So,
I would just go over there now.
do
Yeah.
do 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 do.
anyways, can I notice anything that's off of the situation? Because I feel like this is a distraction. I mean, it could be a beautiful distraction, but
That's true. It could be
It
a
wasn't
distraction. You
even
know,
a
roll now a
distraction.
d20. If you get above a, I don't know, 6, you'll probably be able to find something. All right, cool.
okay, there
Yeah,
we go.
you're fairly certain that this buck dude was not inside of the initiation that you guys were in.
I'm sorry, Wilford
on, Mark.
Morph Stash?
Yeah, this
Hold
is
on,
not
Mom.
Buck. This is Wilford,
Oh.
mother-loving wolf stash.
That's what I thought.
Buck is technically in a disguise right now, which is funny because he doesn't do disguises. It's just this really buff dude in an afro, suspenders, polka dotted pants. He ripped his shirt off at this point, by the way, and
Sorry about that.
and
What?
a pink mustache. So
He was basically he was basically saying he is Wilford Morph Stash, not Buck, and whoever is calling him Buck is clearly a filthy liar and not a mother Morph Stash.
exactly.
Fair. So yeah, Rogue, you're fairly certain that he was not in the initiation, and you're very concerned by how you managed to get everyone to dance with him. Although Burnett helped him with it, so you're not that, you're not that surprised.
I'm half.
Oh.
I'm half.
So, do I
that
notice
explains half
that,
of it.
Do I notice that they're no longer entranced?
Roll d20. At least one person isn't.
Because you mentioned that I was looking directly inside of there.
Yeah. Roll d20, see whether or not. Yeah, you notice that he seemed to snap out of the trance. Mostly it's from the fact that you spit out the brisket, and
Well,
not a single
he's a
one of these
member of
men would
ours.
dare do that. But
Yeah, the fact that it tastes like sweat at this point, that really.
yeah, you now realize
That
why it was so
kinda
shiny.
Made me
Sweat.
vomit.
so in that
No.
case, I'm
It's
probably
funny because my character doesn't even sweat.
Oh, you'd be surprised when you break realities.
yeah.
He imagines it
Well,
tastes
Mark-
like sweat. It doesn't have to taste like sweat. He imagines it so. That shininess will never be explained. It might be
My
aloe vera
mind
for all
does
we know.
whatever it does to snap out whatever trance it's in. Because it knows something's up right now. Because
Mhm.
it realizes this is a perfect distraction to do something.
Really is the
because
perfect one. You also notice
right
that Neo's
now-
not in there,
Okay, that's where.
which kind of worries you considering she's on the enemy
That-
team, but you know. Anyways,
Wait,
with
Neo's on
that-
Neo's
Yeah.
on the enemy team.
well, you know she's on the enemy
Carmine.
team.
Wait, Carmine is Mars's enemy.
Oh, sorry, on the good. You guys are the enemy team, so she's
I was
on your
about- I was
team,
about to say,
which
this
is
a
the enemy
villain
team.
world, pretty much.
Song
just-
is
on our
on
side.
right?
It's on the villain
She's
team,
on
damn
your
it.
side. She's on
By the way,
your
Team
side.
Carmine actually isn't fully in here. She's under the disguise of a different team. Well, not. She's on the disguise of Team Carmine, but half her team isn't there. Emerald and the other one aren't there, I think, either. So she's
Okay.
there with Cinder.
In that case, if someone broke out of the trance and is no longer distracted
Mhm.
by the pelvic culmination that is the wharf stash,
The
then
horrors.
I need your I need to hurry up. It's like, so yeah, looks like I'm out of time. Long story short, stay away from high places, and for the love of good golly god, do not pick a fight with Little Red on a plane.
She raises an eyebrow at you.
Yeah, I know, it's freaking weird, and I wish I could go into the details, but how much do you know about time travel? That's right, none. I need to get going.
Her inquisitive eyebrow raises higher. You're fairly certain she's stretching her face muscles.
Pretend I didn't say that.
I just see him doing flips over there.
She slowly lowers her inquisitive eyebrow to more of a irritated eyebrow before she starts hanging back inside, and then immediately regrets her decision.
Do you really want to do that?
And she walks back outside.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Okay, I was gonna try and stop her. I was like, no, don't.
I'm gonna walk away while nobody's paying attention and go get a shower.
Oh god.
God.
Wait, I'm going to attempt to stop you.
Damn it.
Roll
see, Bug,
d20.
you just
Can you
feel-
escape before he can notice you?
Can you escape?
No, you can't.
You just feel a big, meaty hand on your shoulder, and it's Buck, and he's like, "You okay?"
I'm just after the shower.
Buck looks
Okay.
at you, and he senses that. Wait, can I sense that he is not good for directions?
Roll
D20.
d20.
Isn't he the one who kept
You're
running through
almost
the wall
getting
right
knocked out by what he smells like. Because your
God.
everything is so powerful. You're almost getting knocked out from being next to
You
him.
can smell the wall of brisket and sauce.
You could smell the universe on him.
Since right,
The
since right now
brisket
there's currently 2 of us and 1 of him. Can
Mhm.
I escape the dance floor right now so I can know? Okay.
Well, he's focused on somebody else, so
And
you
it-
can walk right out. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'll just walk outside so I can know.
There you go.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to get
Face there, people.
in BS again. That was horrible, to be honest.
I'm rolling to see if I spot him. Oh,
You immediately spot the man.
I
You
even
vaguely
casually-
remember him as the Team Mars one of their numbers. Root
Can
arc.
I roll d20 to see if I notice anything out
Yeah.
of the ordinary?
Do you notice the 2 people standing outside who are vaguely staring inside of a window awkwardly? No, you don't. You are far too disgusted by what has happened in there that you don't even want to look around you. You don't even want to look behind you out of fear of the idea that they could be doing worse. That sends a shiver down your spine.
That
Neat.
Wait.
I have no idea. But
I'm gonna
please
see.
don't.
I'm gonna roll to see if I notice that he didn't notice us.
You possibly think he didn't notice you, and you're kind of possibly sure that he did notice you, but he seems to not be looking at you very well. He seems to be almost trying to hold his stomach in at the moment, and well, the ground
And
looks
I'm
like a
going
pretty
to
good spot to throw up on.
I'm gonna casually say, "Not much of a talker, are ya?"
She looks at you and
Well, he's
raises her
biting.
eyebrow once again in more of a, really?
Using my scroll, I do send a small message that we are being listened to.
Ah. Hands on my whip. Rogue, roll d20. See whether or not you noticed him saying that, or if you're about to vomit on the floor.
Yeah, I
No, you're
vomit.
vomiting. You
Oh,
vaguely
yeah.
hear them next to you, and
Yeah,
then
mine's
your
too
stomach takes
powerful.
over.
Yeah, mine's too powerful on that sweat sensation.
yeah, you're vaguely certain that that thing wasn't covered in sweat, but you also don't know what that shiny thing is. And the moment you remember that the thing was shiny, well, your stomach rebels against you, and it starts being outside of your mouth. It very quickly overtakes Mako's words, as he can very much so hear the fact that you're throwing up hard. Go on, Mako.
That was during. Okay, yeah, I was
Yeah.
keeping track of that. Neat. I'm gonna just be like, you you need an antacid, buddy?
Yeah.
But roll now
I
d20. See whether or
should.
not you've regained the ability to speak, or if you are vomiting more. Hey,
Okay,
your stomach is settled.
I should be good. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened, but I ate some of that brisket that was in my teammate's jacket. I don't know what happened. I don't know what that was. But
Say no more,
please
my
don't let it
friend.
happen
So
again.
shiny.
I left for a reason. I'm serious about the antacid, though. Always got some on me. Never leave home without
Okay,
it.
that's always a good thing to have.
I'm gonna roll to see if
Wow.
I can get Ironwood to distract Buck again.
Actually, Buck,
Hey.
roll d20. See whether or not you have thrown out. Okay, you have managed to hold your stomach in at the smell of this ungodly, horrifying man. He doesn't even smell that bad. He just smells like a bunch of ceiling parts, wall
Brisket.
parts, brisket, and
That don't
BBQ
smell like
sauce.
that yet.
The faint smell of old plaster.
Yeah, plaster covering him, covering
Wait.
with BBQ sauce and brisket, and you're fairly
I am
certain
not getting
somebody.
rid of him.
And all of it?
Oh.
Well,
I am not getting rid of him in the slightest.
Look, Buck is a friendly face, okay? He's not trying to hurt you in this instance. He's
I
literally
know.
just trying to help you.
how did you talk
I'm
to him?
just
I
trying to get
thought you were mute.
Yes, I'm a mute that knows sign language and has a universal laptop.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
So
fair.
you like signed at him.
So, are you
Let's
going to
just
bring him
bring
towards the
the
shower, or are you going to
I mean, I was going to bring him towards the shower, which I assume would be in the dorm rooms.
Yeah, yeah. So,
So if he's willing,
I was going the wrong way for that, wasn't I?
you're going
Yeah.
the very wrong way. You're like,
How was-
hey.
What was it? Directional insanity?
But Buck manages to help you all the way back to your dorm room, which is slightly uncomfortable for you because it.
Hey, isn't
Yeah.
that the room that I completely ransacked?
He's just gonna walk in there and see a
Yes.
freaking
Yes,
bed
it
in the
is.
wall.
I'm going to look at their room, crack my knuckles, tap him on the shoulder, sign, "Hey, I'm going to clean up in here."
Oh,
Because Buck is both OCD yet not OCD. And do you just say okay?
I'm gonna say good luck with the bed in the wall.
Yeah,
You
you may
just-
notice that there is actually a bed embedded in the wall.
I just crack my knuckles, go up to that bed and try to yank it out.
You rip it off the wall, and you're fairly certain that's some serious property
Alright.
damage.
Now, I want to take the bed with my freaky strength and my Trico abilities, and I would like to just climb up the wall and stick it to the ceiling. And have it as nice as possible. It's going to be as nice as possible, but I'm going to stick that bed into the ceiling. It's going to be a perfectly made bed, but it's going to be in the ceiling. Like, it is
Burnett
the
hasn't even
nice-
taken a shower yet, and he's just watching you as you grab a bed, flip it over, tucking in, of course, so it doesn't, fall out, and then slamming it into the ceiling. For all four of the
Yes,
beds, they look perfectly lined up, perfectly made, everything. It looks beautiful, just upside down.
Buck gets off the ceiling, looks at him, puts his hand up, like stinking, like thing, and you just see him like walk around, pick up books, and start putting them in random place. Like you see him all you see all of the books just perfectly lined up except one, and that one is just off kilt by like a few centimeters. And you see him like measuring it, making sure it's just off by that much. You see him go over to the chessboard and tilt it just a tad off center. You see him like move one of the chairs back a few inches. You see him go over to this wall over here and just write Buck. You see him go over to the nearby wall and just write something, but you're not sure what it is because it's extremely small. And you make sure everything's nice, neat, but everything is off kilter and just a little off, and you just see him walk out and leave you.
Oh,
You can also
man.
make me normal again.
So you're not quite sure what just happened, Burnett, but your
can
room
be
looks
controlled.
very strange now.
It's okay. When they leave, I'm gonna throw another Bennett silver.
If you can reach him.
What do you do? Walk into another room, grab a bed, and throw at your own damn wall?
Yeah, I crawled up your wall, my friend. I didn't just, jump and or throw it. Nah, I crawled up your wall onto your ceiling, put
I
the
will
beds there,
jump up,
screwed them
grab it, and pull it down.
Jesus
Fair
Christ.
enough.
What need have we for roofs?
I have 5 strength stat.
He grabs onto the wall, reaches up, which isn't actually too high for him considering he's a 7.5-foot tall giant, grabs his bed, pulls it off the ceiling. A little bit of the ceiling comes with it, but that's okay. And slams it into the ground. Only one of the 4 though, because that's his bed. Doesn't even use it because
No.
it's a little bit small for him, but that's his bed. It's the principle.
I'll be nice enough to pull Rogues down.
Oh, okay.
And Midnight.
No, just leaving Malachi's up there. Alright.
When he gets back, I'll pull it down and throw it at him.
Jesus. Yeah, the ceiling's not faring too well at the moment. You're fairly certain you could break it by blowing on it at this point. You're quite worried.
We should
Well, that's
see if
okay. You go
Belinda
and take a
notices-
shower anyway.
Let's see if
Do I
Belinda
hear-
notices that there's a
Do I
lot of
hear
damage.
any roofs collapsing?
Not collapsing, but almost collapse. You can faintly hear the idea
And I have no
that their
control
roof
over
is
my
about to
character.
explode.
Do I have
I
my
need
sense?
control
Can I
of
roll
buff.
that?
Okay, well,
Can I
what?
roll to see how my sense? Can I roll to see if I can speak? First of all, a second.
Yeah, sure.
Can I roll to see how my senses back?
Yeah. Well, 2d20s, and we'll see whether or not you're able to think. Oh, you are perfectly able to think at the moment.
You have that
Okay.
thing.
Apparently, that's a thing.
Okay.
But yeah, you're perfectly
Wow.
able to think at the moment, and obviously speaking comes with the territory. Your stomach has finally settled. The smell of, I don't even know how old barbecue sauce and brisket has made you able to think, but your words are slightly slurred. I think
It
you have
was
an
all
allergic
fairly
reaction
fresh
to
from
the
the cafeteria.
barbecue sauce.
Okay. Can I?
Hmm?
Can I use a ability of mine? Special ability?
Oh,
Because this
flipping the
is
board?
going. Yeah, this is going south for us. So
You're welcome to
There
use
you go.
flipping the board, though I'm not entirely sure how you'd use it in this situation, besides making everyone not feel uncomfortable.
that exactly. Because
that
I
would be
think
better.
everyone would appreciate that. Because. And yeah, if I would just, I mean, it's just weird seeing I would do the disc. I think the world will just collapse if I watch that enough. And also, I want to find out what's going on with these guys that just popped out of nowhere. So
Yeah. Now that
'Cause I
you're able
wanna
to
see if
think
I can
again,
notice
you also
anything.
don't quite remember the short guy over there who looks like he's dressing weirdly. You also don't quite remember him, but it could be the fact that you just threw up your lunch, and your brain is a little bit
I
fuzzy.
am like 6 foot.
No, I mean Corn.
Me, yeah, my character's
Oh.
like, my character's only a few inches taller than.
Well, the
Do
guy who
I-
is now standing right in front of you, who is
Well,
kind of slightly
there-
towering over you, not as quite as much as Burnett is,
I mean,
but
I
slightly
was gonna
towering
be on the
over you.
roof above because
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, he's on the
logic,
roof.
and
Okay.
I'm already climbing up stuff. Might as well stay to the old climbing.
Jesus.
So I'm
Alright.
just sitting above him.
do I notice anything in their
Depends on if he
voices
made
at
a
all?
sound when he was on there. Fuck, roll d20. No, did you? Was that 12? The 220.
Because I did hear the recording when I did hear
Mhm.
Benny
Mhm.
talking with Osmond and
Mhm.
Ironwood. So
You
I would recognize
very
that.
faintly recall Benihana's
Ooh,
voice.
that's a 3.
You very faintly recall Benihana's voice, but you're not entirely sure if it was his voice. Wait, his voice, or and then your train thought gets derailed as a piece of the ceiling slams into your head. Not a very large piece, but a small piece of ceiling gets slammed into your head as you look up and you see a guy looking at you.
can I help you?
Buck looks at you, and he's just staring, mainly because he's kind of too high up for you to probably see his signing. So
Hey, sorry. Well, you know how every team has that one person who's a freaking weirdo, apparently doesn't understand how walls work?
Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know that.
Yeah, so this is Buck.
Buck just like stands up when he's standing on the wall, puts his hands in his lower pockets because that's all he has right now because he doesn't have a shirt.
Uh,
And he
Okay.
like walks down and just kind of looks at you, takes off the afro. He's still got the wonderful mustache, but you could like, you might want to roll to see if you can actually tell he just kind of looks pissed off at all things.
uh,
Roll d20, Rogue. You're
Uh.
fairly certain he looks angry.
you're okay. So why? Wait,
Allow me to explain.
I recognize that
Resting
mustache.
bitch face. Wait, what?
That mustache. Buck's wearing a pink mustache. I saw that with the guy in that started the whole. Wait a second. What?
You mean the dance?
Buck
nut?
is
Yeah.
Did you guys start that freaking distraction in there?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it a distraction myself, but
Buck.
on the
'Cause
upside,
that would be a good distraction to use, to be honest.
What was that?
I'm
Buck?
just like on the wall.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm just on the wall. I tap him on the shoulder. He looks over to me, and I sign all according to cake.
does he speak sign?
Oh no, actually. Well, roll d20.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll d20, see if I.
I know for sure I didn't. But
I do.
You speak sign fluently.
He,
And I signed him back. What do you mean by cake?
he mean. Okay, it's a weird joke. He means that everything went
I-
according to plan, but
I
like,
know. I'm kind of getting a picture here. What was your name again?
this is
Buck.
Buck.
I didn't. No, not. I know what Buck is, but I'm talking to you right now.
Oh,
I
my
didn't
friends
catch
call
your
me
name.
Silver.
Silver, okay. Because I haven't seen you around here.
I'm gonna.
Are you a new
walk
transfer or
around.
something?
I'm not really a transfer. I'm here from Vacuo, same as Wukong and Neptune in there. Different team, of course.
Okay. Then why is this the first time I'm seeing you guys?
Well, same reason that a whole bunch of people are arriving. Depending on which boat leads each person, a different person might end up arriving. From what I hear, Wukong decided to jump on a boat way in advance of the rest of his team, just ditching the rest of his crew.
Hey, guys, you
But
talking about me?
still.
God,
Hi, hey. So, do you
Hi,
recognize
guys.
this
How you
guy?
doing? What?
Because I haven't seen him before, and I have trouble seeing.
Wait.
why he's here.
Wait. No, that was inside the hero world, wasn't it, Corin?
that was, yes.
Dang it. He's like, this guy, I don't really know who are you exactly? You look, I feel like I vaguely
what I
have a
wanted to
feeling to
know.
know who you are, but I don't. Maybe.
Yeah, back in
I'm gonna get
Vacuo,
distracted by his tail.
we're both students at Shade. We got different class times, yeah, but you're not subtle. No offense, but yeah, I do remember.
I know a guy, don't I?
Yeah, you were the
Do
one,
you? I
right?
don't think you do.
You were the one who was always talking.
I thought I did.
Yeah, I pointed at Wukong. You
Uh-huh.
were definitely the one who was always talking about his skincare routine.
Hey, my buddy here knows
Yep.
my skincare. He pulls out like
Right.
16 bottles. Hey.
That by his tail is so shiny.
Yes. In fact, I apply 4 different ointments to it
Okay.
every night.
Yeah, four ointments for the tail, and what was it? You use a particular moisturizer around the chest area due to the sandstorm.
You
I
have
get what
friends
mean.
you haven't met yet, so
See me-
everyone likes you.
So,
Yeah, like I
you
pointed myself.
guys.
It's cover up. I ain't getting sand blasted nipples.
I know, right? Hurts, man.
Right? Anyway, like I said, I know Wukong, but apparently
This guy seems like a cool
I
guy. I will bet that he knows me. He starts pulling away skincare stuff, which you don't know exactly how he fits it, but yeah, he's like,
Still,
I think I
like,
know this guy.
That's
He seems cool.
that's a doesn't seem like I know him. That's from where I'm from. That doesn't go. So
You just see Buck walk around you in a 3D plane, looks at Wukong, shakes his hand, and you see him sign. So how's the team doing?
He looks at you confused for just a second. Before he's like, that was team, right? I think that was a team.
yeah,
Team.
yeah.
Good.
How's the team?
Oh, how's the team? Team's doing all right. Neptune's in there. He points to Neptune, who is currently throwing up.
well,
Yeah.
Do I?
Well,
You know what?
I can't believe we got
let's call
that.
Neptune in. See what he says if he knows you two. Shall I?
I can't say I've ever actually talked to the guy, but all right.
Hey, he
Neptune,
doesn't
Buck
work.
do you recognize these two guys?
You guys walk in, I'm assuming.
Well, we called Neptune over.
Oh. Neptune attempts to get up. And face plants.
Dude,
I want to see if Ruby starts a food fight.
Oh dear.
I look at this and I start laughing. Wait, a 2 is low enough, isn't it, Sin?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look
Oh,
confused.
God. Oh, dear me, what is this? What are
I wanna
you?
roll.
You really need to
100
add our characters here,
because-
so I don't have to open
I
up
have
a
it
tab
up
for
here.
heroes.
Oh, no.
Wait, what happened?
Don't tell me it's bad.
Everything in a 50-foot radius loses muscle control for a turn.
Yay!
Oh,
Can I
no.
roll to see if I was unaffected by that, please?
You could try, get above a 16.
Yeah, I'll try that too.
Oh, God.
Oh,
If everybody got less than
So
10.
my
So-
head slams into the wall on the way down.
oh.
Oswald attempts to stand up to brace himself for this, and then trips, and then bashes his skull into the wall. You'd be afraid
Does
he
it
would have a
break?
concussion if he didn't do that so often.
Does it break?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I think
yeah,
that
the
was
wall
a dumb
breaks.
question, because it usually does.
So everyone in the general vicinity, and including up to Ironwood, since you guys are not 50... Actually, no. 50 feet would be like up to John and his entire group. Immediately fall to the ground, all with varying levels of painful hits on the ground, as your entire body starts spasming and flopping around like weird fish.
I am unable to control myself to speak.
Yeah, it hurts. It kind of
just
feels
see
like
everyone-
someone took a cow
Fuck
prod
is
and
that?
started stabbing you in the nuts.
You just see Buck get up, look at Sun Wukong, look at Neptune, look at Corn. You see him pick up Corn, go over to Neptune, flip him over, hand him like something for his stomach. You see him walk inside, pick up Stinking Fire. He looks at Corn and goes, "You done here?"
Okay.
I'm gonna say yes. And you just see Buck walk out with Corn on his shoulder. And
Oh no, that's okay.
Well, he got the 16.
So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just look at.
Can I roll to try to follow these
You
guys?
can roll to
Because-
try to stand up.
you're not gonna be able to follow Buck as soon as I hit outside.
Are you able to no.
Damn it.
You attempt to stand up, but your body doesn't register the fact that you attempted to stand up, and instead it thought you said to go down harder, and so as you moved your head just up just a little bit, your entire body spasmed and you cronked your head against the ground.
So I take it I broke another wall.
Yeah, you both are now passed out. Hard.
This,
Okay, how would I pass out considering I break about
I'm
20
gonna,
walls
like,
a day?
Wait, both of us have passed. Wait, who's passed out?
Yeah, so Rogue, you passed out because you moved your head up a little bit, then your body spasmed and slammed your skull into the ground as hard as it possibly
it.
could. Apparently, your
I've
body
drank
is not
like
that
20
used to it.
Okay.
And then, Azul, you passed out because when your entire body is spasming like you have 1,000 volts running through your entire body, your heart stops slightly.
Oh,
I'm gonna
I'm
look,
used to that.
gonna look at teachers and
Yeah.
shout whatever it came. It was something's out in the east. Because look, if you look at it, the east, everyone in the eastern
Yeah,
half of the area. So I shout that to Oz, Glinda, and
God
James.
damn it.
Do they believe me?
No.
Really?
Not in the
Huh.
slightest.
Roll
In
the
fact-
one.
They vaguely remember your voice, and Osmond looks
Oh,
at you very
Well, hold up.
curiously.
Actually, hold up. I've got a question. Shouldn't it be a roll against me since I'm trying to lie to them?
Oh, that's a fair point. Roll to join.
Don't be a one. Don't be a one.
They believe
not
you
16.
wholeheartedly. Although, again, Osmond does vaguely remember your voice and looks at you curiously for a second before Glinda sighs. She sighs with the sigh of 1,000 sighs of sad people.
Can I see if I can get up yet?
Oh yeah, roll d20. Get above a 14. Now you've
I
bashed
don't-
your skull into the
Alright.
ground once again, and possibly have thrown up on yourself multiple
Alright,
times.
Corin, you've done all you
Can I,
need to do,
can I
right?
try to get up again?
Yeah, roll above a
Almost
roll above a
so.
16. If you get above a 16, you'll be able to kind of stand. At this point, they're pretty much out of the doors.
Oh, 19.
You've managed to stand up. There's now a horde of people in between you and them, but you've now managed to stand up. Roll d20, see if you can
Can I-
stay up.
Okay.
Kane, you've done all you needed to do?
Yep. Just get us out.
How the hell is that happening?
You've managed to
Alright.
stand up. You looked at the entire room of people, and then your eyes focused on the one thing that you swear to God wasn't there before, but is now the shiny brisket that's on the floor.
You just see Buck take one
Horrors.
step out, and he looks at Fire. She's probably out cold from drinking too much, and he just looks at King, going, "Hey, close your eyes. We're about to go into the shadows for a bit."
Shrug, shut my eyes, and hello, darkness, my old friend.
And we're out of there.
Yeah,
Yes.
Rogue, you're in pain. You're in a
Not only
lot
am I
of
in
pain.
I'm in a lot of.
Qu-
Not only am I in pain, but I am really ticked off that they got away.
Sin, question. Now that
Yeah.
we've
I can't
left the
chase-
area due
Mhm.
to the shadow walking ability, because assume we have to head back to the
Yeah.
office to get. So we're just gonna, end up back there.
Mhm.
Once I'm out of the area, do they all gain muscle, control back since the person?
They
They
do, shockingly enough.
Can I roll
Rogue
to
has
see
a
if I got
massive
my-
concussion at the moment, and Burnett has managed to pick himself off the floor and looks like nothing happened to him, except that his arm is spasming slightly. That might be a different
It's
problem.
okay, I'll probably just punch a wall and fix it.
Yeah, no.
Well,
Rogue, roll
we'll
another
see what
d20,
won't get
see if
broke.
you have enough fortitude to stay on your feet this time.
I wasn't paying
You
attention.
managed to
Well-
stay on your feet this time. You're
Okay, nice.
throwing up slightly in your mouth, but you swallow it down painfully, and you avoid the shiny brisket that's on the floor.
Well, let's see how hard I hit a wall.
Get that away from me.
Oh, no.
Azul looks at you for a second, looks at the shiny piece of brisket, and dives through the window, slamming his entire body onto it.
I wasn't even trying that. I was just trying to get rid of the twitch in my arm.
Yeah, you figured that the shiny brisket had godly powers in it, so it might work. I don't think it did, but you may have broken your arm, then may have fixed it twice. But, you're also covered in glass, but I don't think you noticed. Yeah.
Why would I?
Oh, no.
I mean, I've been hit by way worse.
But anyways, so, Rogue, you managed to finally get up on your feet and walk into the main area. People are swarming around, Wukong and Neptune, who's crying. It's not a good sight. He's throwing up and crying on the ground. It's
That-
kind of sad,
Aw.
actually.
Can I Can I look around, see if I can find the two I was talking to before all that went down?
You
Oh,
cannot.
I forgot.
You look around,
forgot.
and all you see is a doorway, broken glass. You avoid the shiny biscuit by using Azul's body to prevent you from seeing it. And you also see Neo, who's just kind of sitting over there with a look that can only be said as smug.
Can
I forgot.
Do I notice anything off about her? I mean,
She looks slightly annoyed, but other than that, she's just really, really smug. It's kind of like that look you get when you know that you are fully correct and everyone else is wrong. It kind of makes you feel mad. Just a little bit.
I forgot to roll.
Can
to
I
see
go
if
see what's
got
going
me.
on?
In terms of what?
Uh, see if no. Oh, how can I do this?
See if.
See how she's doing.
Oh yeah,
Basically.
you can walk over to her if you want to.
Yeah, I'll always walk over her and see how she's doing. So I
I
think
forgot.
everyone is kind of might have been traumatized by that disco
Just a
watch
little bit.
party. What?
She looks at you. She leans back. She waves.
So, are you okay after all this?
She nods.
Okay, good, because that was really weird, and also, for some reason, I don't know, but a lot of us got knocked on our feet for some strange reason. Something just happened. You know what that was all about?
She raises an eyebrow at you, which you vaguely feel gives you a sense of, why would I know?
And I'm just wondering. I mean, did you feel something? I mean, I'm just
shakes
trying
her
to figure
head.
out what's going on. Okay,
I forgot to roll.
She
to
points
see
at Azul, which you're fairly certain means brisket.
Yeah, don't ask. I don't know, but if you ask me, I don't want to see brisket ever.
You never know. what's
She
going
reaches
on.
into her pocket and pulls out ball steak sauce.
Cruel sense of humor.
You feel like her smugness has
You-
only increased in size.
Oh, I see your. You
Hmm?
have your own sense of humor. That's good. But I think I can still muster steak sauce. Just brisket. No. Okay.
I want to roll to see if my tracking device got on Buck or
Did you place a tracking device on them?
I put one on the ground that sticks to their shoes.
Ah.
When did you do
Like,
that
you
though?
should have mentioned that before.
Yeah, you really
But
mentioned that before,
I
my
wouldn't
guy.
be against it if the GM clears it.
If you
Yeah.
get above a 17, yes.
I
No.
did not.
Yeah, you look
I
back over at the
definitely
thing
did
and
not.
you notice, as you try to switch on your communicator, that all you hear is stepping sound. And you look around and you see Wukong looking at his foot. Huh. Wonder when that got there. Slightly annoyed, but you know. Anyways. So the two of them landed inside of, if I have their
That
pictures.
sucked. I was gonna see if they could lead me to a brisket shop.
Oh, God.
I mean, oh, I was about to say I gave you directions, but that's not gonna help, is it?
Definitely not.
So they both land up in,
You
well,
saw
all
the
three of
route
them.
I was trying to take.
Yep. All three of them land inside of Osmond's office, which looks a lot neater, and the door was fixed from when you guys were here last time. Yeah, but you also do notice that the machine thingy that you guys brought with you, at least I hope you brought it with you.
Yeah.
Fairly certain. Okay,
Uh-huh.
just
Remember
making
Pokemon
sure.
Mystery Dungeon? I have my bag.
All right, yeah. So you guys did bring it with you as you pull out. Well, as Lars pulls out, I'm pretty sure you are in your own fairy tale land. I don't know.
Me?
Lars pulls out.
Why would I be in Fairy Tale Land? How the heck you thought? Wait, this is Fairy Tale Land. Team RWBY Space Run. You monster.
Boom. But yeah, Walrus pulls out the machine thingy, which y'all still don't know pretty much anything about. But you do notice that it's flashing rapidly.
Neat.
Hey, so I have multiple different things that assist me in identifying and working with technology. So, what modifier do I add to my? Because if I nat 1, I'm still going to say I think it's a. Was that
Plus
1d20
7.
plus?
1d20 plus 7.
Neat. Come on, give me a 1.
Jesus Christ.
All right, I think I know what it is and how to get.
Yeah, you're fairly certain that it's a cross-dimensional transporter, which you were fairly certain
I
is
figured
what.
that one out.
Yeah.
I meant how to work.
But you also know that it only works during a specific period of time. At least the flashing indicates this, as well as the fact that it has on the middle of it 10, 9.
Hey, Walrus,
Yes.
has it occurred to you that maybe we should have planned this out a little bit better before going through the...
Buck looks you dead in the eye saying, "What plan?" I made that up on the spot. I walked into my room. My Pokemon brought me an afro, a pink mustache. Palkia brought me the suspenders, which was weird because I don't know where she was keeping those. And I just went with it. You kidding me? None of that was planned.
You know what? I think that's fine. No plan will ever survive first encounter with the enemy, so I guess the best option is to just not have a plan, I guess.
I broke your
5,
brain a little bit.
4.
Can one of them roll to realize that I didn't do anything wrong? All I did was cause a
That's a
giant
fair point. Y'all
hunger
didn't do.
disco.
You didn't do anything wrong.
Oh,
Oh
before
yeah,
we leave,
no,
you
I
wanna
don't
leave
assume that
anything?
you guys are evil. I assume you guys are unknown elements. That's more terrifying. You scare me more than Team Carmine. I
So,
don't
question:
know
Do I
anything
still have
about
a
you.
thing of brisket on me?
Yes, you have. Actually, how many of them did you bring up? All right, yeah, you have like 1. You meant to grab
I
more,
just
but you
placed-
didn't think of it at the time.
I placed that on Ozpin's desk. I find a random piece of paper in my pocket and just place it on top, and it's just a heart.
Oh, I love it.
Because what?
Me, I was actually about to ask, did I snitch a piece of brisket? Because I actually have scientific reasons for doing it.
You grabbed quite a few pieces of brisket. You grabbed like. There's a reason why the floor wasn't covered in brisket.
I'm gonna look Walrus Buck right in the eyes and say, it's time for science. Sweet, delicious, and possibly scientific science.
He's just gonna find that it's
I
absolutely
mean, I would assume
normal.
that and roasted too. I would assume that our characters would swap dimensions at
Mhm.
the same time.
Yeah, as you all go from one dimension, the other dimension comes back. Kind of like the machines are. No, not telepathic.
They
they're
take
linked.
they take advantage of the exact same waves, so when they
Yeah.
ripple out, it makes sense that you're riding the same ones in or
But anyways, so I'm assuming you guys teleport at that point.
Yes.
once it says 0, I'm going to, if I have to hit a button, I'm going to hit a button. I don't want to be here after that timer hits 0.
Timer hits 0, and you guys start going through. You're vaguely feeling like throwing up, but it's okay at that point.
Rolled a 13 on
Malachi-
Fortitude.
Yeah, you feel like you're gonna throw up. It's not pleasant. At the exact same time, you guys hear Rogue hears a crashing sound from the room.
The room where
Alright, can I get up and
Yeah,
go
stuff.
to the room now?
Yeah, can I do that as well? Because
Yeah, you're more than
that
welcome to.
sounds pretty important, and I
Oh.
don't want anything else wrong happening tonight.
Okay, y'all ended on the villains on the hero episode, right?
Yep.
So shouldn't we end on the heroes on this one to equal it out?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so you guys both go over there. I'll end on heroes in just a second. But yeah, so you guys see them appearing. Malachi. Whoops, I did that twice.
Okay.
Malachi is currently throwing up on the ground, and Roasted, roll d20 real quick.
Hold on, my dog's barking.
You're good. You want me to roll for you?
Sorry. No, I can roll right
Okay.
now. Sorry, my dog
Okay.
was barking. Damn it.
Ugh. As you get in there, you hear a cracking sound. It's not a pleasant cracking sound, and as you look upwards, you notice some. Yeah, the ceiling is not in good shape as it starts to fall on you.
What the hell happened here? Does
Oh,
someone
no.
explain to me?
Whose bed was left in the ceiling? Because I feel like
Malachi's.
one of the
I'm gonna pull the. I'm gonna pull down Malachi's bed and throw it at him already.
Dunk. And then as you pull down the bed and throw at Malachi, Roasted looks upwards, sees you pulling down the bed, as a chunk of the ceiling falls onto his head.
I'm pretty sure it just broke at that point.
My character just gets up and he's pissed. He shouts in a rage and says, "What?"
Oh, it's fantastic.
Sorry, I was saying. Sorry, I'm about to
You're
edit
good.
that out probably.
You're good. I actually.
As I was saying, my character's pissed off and his eyes are glowing blue and says, "What the fuck happened here?"
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
And why is my plate of spaghetti over there on my damn chessboard?
In all
Once again,
honesty,
talk with this
nobody
little-
smelled.
I feel like I would have cleaned that up, but granted, I probably just made it very neat on the side of the chessboard, with like spoons and stuff on the sides of it, like perfectly nice and neat.
Okay, that's fair.
Good God. All right. Anyways, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and look at that. If you guys want to see what the villains will be doing next episode, go check out the next episode, you doofus. And then for the heroes, I zoomed in way too much for that one. And why is he here? Why are you there? Ospen, why are you there? Stop being there.
because we didn't even wait for him to leave the room before before Wally.
Funny.
Wall did the whole thing.
Right. All right, so you guys finally get back. Your team looks traumatized. Their team looks like they got beat into the ground several times over and then slapped sideways.
Hey, fellow kids.
I still find
Actually,
it funny.
question is,
Maybe
Ron,
won't feel up.
Ron
Huh?
is very badly injured from last time, remember?
Yeah, as I said, they look like someone beat them to a pulp with a giant cheese biscuit, which was made out of claws, death, destruction, and sharp knives. It's a very angry cheese biscuit. Lilith
I
looks
still
like
find
she
it
wants to beat
funny.
someone's face in, and as soon as she sees Walrus, walks up to him and slaps him across the face.
Ow! What did I do?
Lilith?
Walrus, the answer is simple, and I can tell you exactly what you did. You put your horsey in the wrong spot, so I was able to get a mate check. Remember, that's the last thing we said before all of this.
Oh, right.
I don't think Lilith is there right now.
Yeah,
Yes,
she looks at you with a particular irritated look and says, "You weren't here when Ron was being beat to a pulp. Look at this poor man."
First
look
off,
at-
hilarious. Secondly, we kind of had our own mission. Like, for example, did you know there's another universe where we don't exist?
She's going to grab you by the shirt. Roll d20. And she is going to backhand you into the wall.
I look at Ron. I walk over to Ron.
You
And-
didn't tell us!
Buck like shushes her as he walks up to Ron, and me and Ron's interaction will have to be the next hero episode because I need Ron here for this.
Actually,
Yeah.
no. This time I'm on Slap Happy's side on this one. I think I made that one clear. Oh, by the way, I made friends with Neo. She's great.
You're kind of scared of Lilith at the moment, but anyways.
You forget my character's backstory. His
Oh, that's a
response
fair
to fear, sass and jokes.
That's a fair point. Alright, so if you guys want to see the rest of the hero episode, go and check out the hero episode, which doesn't accompany this is the next episode, I guess. And hopefully you all enjoy all this stuff. We're going to have a lot more cross... There's a word there. Hold on.
Cross-dimensional.
Cross-dimensional episodes in the future. So if you guys want to check out those, next one will probably be on the Vital Festival. If you guys just want to skip there, you guys can, I guess. I don't know why you would want to, but sure, go ahead. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Auf Wiedersehen.
Aye.
German for goodbye.
Chicken and tits.
Wow.
Hey, hey,
It's
hey,
just wow.
Play roundabout.
Or
Well,
play
yeah.
roundabout.
Fuck.
Wires, play roundabout.
Hold on.
Well,
I don't have my
depends
guitar.
on
Yeah. Actually, YouTube
How we-
copyright would probably shoot us down, wouldn't it?
Now I have half of his things a little broken. But anyways. That was lovely. Alright. We'll see you guys in the next episode of Fusing.
Sure.
Thanks.
Bye.
see ya.